Good afternoon. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to find the following? Engines that I have not featured on my channel that are both interesting and affordable. It's getting nearly impossible, which is one of the many reasons why I slowed down and basically stopped doing this for a while, and that may be coming up soon again also. What I've got on the table here is an engine that fits all of those parameters. It's, in my opinion, interesting, it was affordable, and it's never been on my channel before. In fact, I just did a YouTube search and I couldn't even find any real videos on this engine at all. Now, as you can tell, obviously it's an older OS engine. Now, this is one of the few two-stroke engines, one of maybe only a handful that I really I got excited about. And it happens to be this, an OS32F ABC engine. Now, the reason I'm excited about it is because this is an engine that is so hard to find any information about. And it's hard to find out what the history of this engine is. But let me just open it up and show it to you here, and we'll talk as I'm showing it to you. So this is a new in-box engine. It is not 100% complete from what I've seen on one other ad I saw for it. But it does come with this exhaust, and I hope that this exhaust is stock, which I think it is. It says 843 on here. To me, it looks like the same exhaust that's on an OS40FP, which I'm going to grab right now and show you also. So let's take the exhaust out. It came with this glow plug, which is an OS number 8 plug, which is not period correct to this engine. This engine dates back to 1988, and I don't remember seeing OS number 8 engine or glow plugs packaged like this back then, but you know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Here's the two screws for the exhaust, and then here's the engine. Then there's nothing else in the box, unfortunately. It didn't come with any tools, accessories, decals, or the manual. But it did come with all of its glory and beauty. This is just a spectacular engine. It is just absolutely beautiful. And that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about it, is because A, it's rare, B, it's beautiful. But this engine, as far as I can piece together, is the original variants were helicopter versions. And there was a person on one of my posts that commented asking, I put a post on this engine, and he was saying that he thinks that this engine, and I believe it, it makes sense, this 32F engine was actually designed to be a helicopter engine. And he said that he thinks that these engines, and it makes complete sense to me, were bundled with some Kyosho helicopters back in the late 80s. And that would make sense because OS could do some direct business with Kyosho, put these engines in the box with those things, and sell a ton of those things. So I'm convinced that that was the reason for this. Why they decided to make an Aero version is unknown. I'm glad they did, but one of the things that I think is so awesome about that engine is just the fit and finish of it. Now, here's my 40FP engine. Now, the 40FP actually came out in 1985. This engine came out in 1988, but yet they share a lot of the same features. I mean, it's just a beautiful engine. This is a chrome or a cast iron piston engine. This is an ABC or ABN. They have it listed as ABC, but I think it's ABN. But another thing that the individual who was responding to my post was saying is that this has the power of a 40 size engine in a smaller package, the package of a 20 size engine. Now, whether it's actually the package of a 20 size engine or not, I don't know. To me, it looks very similar in size to the 40FP. In fact, I think the casting on this thing looks a little bit nicer than this 40FP. So this engine has got me super excited. and it's definitely going to be a runner. Now, a friend of mine, Calvin, has got one of these engines, and he's actually got the manual for it, and he made some copies, or made a copy of it, and it's in the mail to me right now. Do I really need a manual for this engine? No, not really, but it would be nice to have something. The manual, you can see here that this is not a ringed engine. The helicopter engines were ringed. It just would be interesting to see what the manual for this airplane version says as far as props, fuel, etc. And I'll get that eventually here, probably tomorrow it'll be in the mail. But anyway, I just wanted to do a quick look of this beautiful engine. Let's see here. I have the 40 FP here. Let's see if no, it's 843. Yeah, it is. That's what I thought. The 40 FP exhaust says 843 on it also. Thought that looked familiar. So they use the exact same exhaust, which is interesting. I'm not saying that this is a 20 size package, but it's definitely smaller than the 40 FP. And if it's got the power of a 40 FP or more, I mean, that brings up the question, if this is such an awesome engine, why in the hell don't you hear more about it? Why is it more widespread? Did they discontinue it early on? Did it have a very limited production life? I don't know. All I know is I've tried to find information on forums and the web searches on this engine, and I really can't find a whole lot. I've got numerous different smaller props, or small props for smaller engines. So I'm thinking, you know, maybe just starting this out with a 10.6, and then once it gets a little bit broke in, which it shouldn't take much break in for this engine, put a smaller one on there and just really ring it out and see what it does. But I'm really excited about firing this thing up, because this is just a beautiful engine. Actually, I'm kind of on the fence here. It's so beautiful. Do I want to fire it up? Heck yes, I want to fire it up, as long as it stays nice and clean. But this is a ball bearing engine, whereas the FP engine is a plain bearing engine, or bush bearing. This has got ball bearings in it, and I'm just really excited about this particular engine. So anyway, that has been a quick look at this beautiful OS32F ABC engine. Hope you enjoyed watching, and look forward to seeing this thing on the stand very soon.